Be booted by the time we're ready to go.
Okay, here we go. We're good? All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Newington Town Council special meeting of Thursday, May 26, 2022. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:04. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have our roll call, please.
Councilor Braverman,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Budrako,
Here.
Councilor Camillo, Councilor Camillo,
Absent.
You're good.
Councilor Donahue,
Here.
Councilor Mankey,
Here.
Councilor Nagel,
Here.
Councilor Page,
Here.
Councilor Rada, Mayor Del
Absent.
Buono.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Just for the public's knowledge, Councilor Rada was unable to be here because of a work commitment, so she does apologize that she wasn't able to be here. All right, folks. The only thing on our agenda this evening is the Anna Reynolds School Final Project Budget Acceptance. So we're going to start with public participation because this is a special meeting. Public participation is only allowed on the agenda item, which is the Anna Reynolds project. So I will switch over here, see if anyone would like to weigh in. If you would like to join us, please state your name and address for the record. We have a 3-minute time limit. In Zoom, you would raise your hand in the participants window. If you are on a computer or if you are on your phone, *9 will do that same function.
Turn your camera off.
All right, I do not see any hands up. I do see Dr. Brummett in our attendees window. So if she wants to be pulled over as a panelist, Maureen, just raise your hand if you want to be recognized. And we will be glad to do that. All right, we are moving on now to remarks by councilors on public participation. We have none. So next is consideration of old business, which is the Anna Reynolds School Final Project Budget Acceptance. As most of you know, I know the council does, we did hear on Tuesday evening at our regular meeting, information from the chairman of the Anna Reynolds Project Building Committee, Mayor Woods, as well as some of the folks that work with him on the construction team. And I know Mayor Woods is here with us this evening. Steve, do you want to come up and join us?
Thank you.
And let me just, I want to make sure I acknowledge those that are on the call, and you can help me know who they are. I see Eileen Eagle.
Eileen Eagle should be with Jim Giuliano. They're from Construction Service Group, our owner's project manager for the
Okay,
project.
and then Jennifer Ming, thank you.
And she's with Castle Booth. She is lead architect.
And who? Oh, okay. All right, so that's our team that's on this evening.
Tomorrow should be
And
on
Tom tomorrow.
with Newfield Construction.
Great. Thank you all for joining us. All right, so I know the council had asked the other evening to be presented with some information in terms of what items needed to be changed or adjusted or cut from the project in order to make sure we were within budget. And councilors, we all received that, both in email and in hard copy this evening. Mr. Woods, do you want to give a brief summary for the public that may not have been here on Tuesday, just so they know what we're looking at?
Before he begins, just for the record, Mike Camillo joined at 6:08.
Thank you. Councilor Camillo is present. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And actually, I want first of all thank everybody for holding this special meeting tonight. I do appreciate it. I know you have very busy schedules, and we're getting very close to a holiday weekend, but I do appreciate you taking the time to get this for us. So we are at the project, at the point in the project now where the bids have all been received. We are on budget, and to take the next steps, we need your approval to authorize the town manager to allow our CM, Newfield Construction, to enter into contracts with all the different contractors for the different disciplines. It is a 27-month construction project. Obviously, as I said the other night, it's key that we have 2 summers that we'll be working on the building, that we get the full 8 to 10 week session of construction while the children are in school, so we can get most of that work done. And by you having this meeting tonight, that's going to help expedite that so that contracts can be in place. We have a construction budget trade cost now of just over $29 million. It's actually $29,133,603. And then when you add in general conditions, soft costs, owner's contingency, the insurance, the bonds, the total GMP is $23,636.91. Again, same figures I gave you last night. And when we add in other soft costs, it comes up to 35.5, which is what the referendum was. Obviously, if there is any money left over at the end of construction, it goes back to you. So I think what I'd like to do before I go any further, as I know Jennifer from Castle Booze has been working on renderings. Councilor Nagel has asked, and we'd be happy to show you that, so you kind of see what you're buying. We have a couple, have a rendering of the exterior before and after, and then I believe you'll see one of the media center.
Oh,
Jennifer?
Yes, okay.
I can see it.
Just a second. Okay, there we go. Do you see our screen here? The Castle Blues?
Yes.
Sure
Yes.
do. Yep.
Okay, great. So this is a rendering of the exterior, the front entrance. One of the value management items for cost savings was to eliminate the front entrance canopies. So there isn't one now at the school, and there will not be one in the proposed project at this point. So this is a rendering. We have a lot of the existing masonry, the brick masonry still on the building, but there are areas, I'm going to flip ahead a little bit. There are areas that we're upgrading with a better performing wall, windows, storefront, we call them, the large areas of glass. So the bottom view is your before or current picture, and we are doing a window replacement throughout the whole entire facility. None of the existing windows or storefront, curtain wall, we call them too, none of those systems will remain. They're all being replaced with energy efficient glazing and a good framing system. So we replaced the clear story windows in this rendering, as well as there's this blue panel on the existing building with windows below, and we are replacing that facade with a good energy performance system that has insulated metal wall panel, and then the new glazing system there too. The same thing happens at other windows throughout the building. These blue panels and window system is gone. We have now precast band that runs along. You'll see another image in a moment, but that runs along below all the windows. You can't see it here, but there's precast below these windows. So that's a nice durable sill. It's up to about 3'4". And then above that is insulated metal panel to replace either glazing or you had on the classroom wings, there was an insulated panel, kind of like a styrofoam that had a finish on it. That whole facade for two of your main classroom wings is the whole thing is coming down and being replaced. So again, there's that precast, that durable precast concrete band at the bottom. New window system is the dark that you see. And then the lighter color is the insulated metal panel, so that we have a good wall system that will perform as needed for the current energy code requirements. The system here now obviously wouldn't have that kind of performance. So those are some before and after views of the exterior. I do want to say there's a couple of things not related to the building. Like this tree, for instance, there were some planning changes as we went through value management. So I don't think that tree is in the project right now. So that's a little outdated. And if I go back to the front, we also, some of the light work up here is slightly different. There's a different finish on one of these new retaining walls. And there's benches proposed now for the front because there was some cost savings there. So they're good durable benches, but we are not providing these seat walls. We had hoped to do that. We didn't get a chance in the short time frame to update all of the landscaping components here. But you will still have the bollards out in front of the entrance, and there's generally the flow, besides plantings and some of those site furnishing like benches, the flow is all the same as we had presented to many people previously. Increasing circulation, better circulation for parents, buses, and all of that as well. So those are exterior renderings. And then I have one interior rendering to show that we put together, just since you had asked for it, because there were some interior value management changes. So we were able to show, this is the media center with proposed new finishes, a little bit different of a layout. This is your existing media center that's freshened up with new finishes and a new feature around a reading nook area. This did look more so like this bottom picture. That nook area had some risers in it that really aren't utilized much right now. So we changed the image back here and the feel of things. Updated we plan on updating all of the finishes. For the most part, it is new paint. There are some new acoustical panels that we are doing up toward the ceiling. All new ceilings, lighting, flooring, base of wall, new built-in cabinetry. We are actually analyzing right now. We know that we need to cut back on new furniture because of our budgetary, situation. So we are trying to determine what the priority is for new furniture. So I can't yet, say for certain whether the bookshelves are going to be new or existing. A lot of the existing bookshelves are in pretty good shape, so we may be able to reuse some of that furniture. But we are going to be having those discussions with the school district to see, where do we best spend the money on new furniture and where do we reuse? We did do an analysis, so we know the condition of everything, but we need to have those hard discussions about, where does it get reused? Where do we save? That kind of thing. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Anyone? Councilor
Can I ask a
Nagel?
question? Oh, sorry.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a brief one. I know I asked about entrances the other day, and I'm not asking the same question. I just want to know if the original entrance improvement to the official entrance to the school, is it remaining in look, the interior, like what's proposed, or has that changed somewhat?
That has not changed. So
The lobby is the word I'm looking for. It's essentially the same.
Yes.
And was that in the original plan too?
Yeah.
Okay. Just so everyone is clear about that.
But will there be
There were a
upgrades for
couple of
security?
adjournment. Yeah, I'd
Go
like
ahead.
to expand on that answer if I can a moment.
Yep.
There's a few things that come to mind when you ask me about an entrance. So one of them is just from the exterior and the security, like Mayor just said. There are upgrades in this project that haven't changed as far as, and I don't want to go into too much detail publicly with security, but we do have a very hardened main entrance to this facility as far as the glazing goes. That's a top of the line, good impact resistant glazing that's often used in schools, but we went with the highest that we could go here. So there was no value management as far as using that term. We did not scale that back. So we are providing a better entrance, certainly than what they have now, and giving you something great and secure. The vestibule is also the inside vestibule door.
Will be locked.
Right now, we're replacing your vestibule. So right now you don't have that kind of secure vestibule impact resistance as much as you will in this future. Again, I'm trying to be a little careful. I don't want to say too much publicly, but you will have this hardened vestibule. The entrance into the main office is a little different, and there's a transaction window as well. So we're really trying to create a better man trap situation at the main entrance, allow people in right into the lobby, right into the vestibule. But they would need to be checked out before proceeding through the school. And it's very secure, but at least we can welcome them into the front doors. The lobby has some finish adjustments, I guess, to it, or finish. We are upgrading finishes again with the flooring throughout the building, flooring and base and ceiling and lighting, and all of that is still occurring. But there were some adornment type of items that we were hoping to do and that we did pull out of the project for now. Possibly that, we felt they were things that could be done in the future to liven up the space, add more interest in the lobby. We maintained a portion of that, but we didn't feel we could maintain it all in order to get you back to the budget that we needed to be at. But they are things that could be added later. So it certainly be fresh and feel relatively new. But we did have to sacrifice a couple of adornment type things.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
So Councilor Nagel, I'll give you an example. There was a 3-dimensional wood structure of our schoolhouse
Mhm.
that was going to be on one of the walls in the main entry. That's now going to be painted. So it's still there. It's now not 3-dimensional,
Yeah.
1-dimensional,
Okay.
So we did, but again, if the district at some point wants to add it, it can be added afterwards.
Right.
Good.
Councilor Page?
Thanks, Mayor. Just a question about the flooring. If I understood the documents, which I appreciate from Mayor Woods, from Steve and you folks, it looked like there was a savings in the flooring that was going down. And I don't know what the terms, one is VCT and I forget the other. It's not right in front of me. Can you just speak to that? If it was a downgrade, I don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish in terms of the materials not lasting or requiring more maintenance, or is this just an aesthetic difference?
It's
Sure.
not,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Jennifer. You can answer better than I can.
Okay. So the two terms that we used in the value management list that you had seen was VCT, which is vinyl composition tile. That material's been
Yep.
around for quite a long time. So a lot of our 50s buildings, and newer from that, a lot of them did have vinyl composition tile in them, or at one point it was an asbestos tile that was very similar. Of course, we don't do that anymore. Vinyl composition tile, it was a downgrade as far as pricing goes and a little bit with maintenance too. VCT requires some maintenance.
Mhm.
The waxing that the custodians do at certain times during the year, that kind of stuff you have to do with the VCT, but it is a long lasting, durable product. It is in a lot of schools. VCT is what we are now doing in the classrooms. We were hoping to use a slightly better product, which was luxury vinyl tile. We call it LVT. We were hoping to do that all over the place, except for there is some carpet in limited rooms like the media center. But LVT was what we had hoped for everywhere, pretty much. We had to downgrade a bit. So the classrooms are getting the VCT. Again, it's still pretty common in schools that have it, but a lot of schools are trying to upgrade if they can to this LVT. It has less maintenance than a VCT. We are keeping LVT throughout the corridors, so the lobby will still have it. The corridors will still have the LVT, which is a slightly better product, but the classrooms will now be VCT.
I appreciate that. And I have to say, anytime I've gone into the schools, any school, the floors are absolutely brilliant. They're shining, they're clean. The staff does an amazing job. I saw it looked like a $50,000 savings, which I certainly appreciate. I know we all do. I just wanted to ask to make sure we're not saving not a few bucks, but 50K, but over the years spending more in maintenance. But I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Deputy Mayor Draco.
Yeah, I guess, this might be a little, I don't know whether it goes into the security much, but, I was concerned a little bit when I saw it looks like it expanded window visibility by the storefront windows versus what was there now. But what I think you said is that because the glazing is going to be top of the shelf, it's the glazing that really is more important than whether somebody can see in or out of the classroom window.
So we're trying to,
There are,
this is the problem
Sorry,
when you do
Steve.
both.
Pause,
No.
yeah.
All I was gonna say, we're trying to get as much natural light into the building as possible. That is the trends that everybody's trying to do right now, which is what we had when the buildings were built. And now we're strolling back to that in the eighties when fuel oil went from 17 cents to 35 cents. We all went crazy.
Yeah, right.
You know, and
Those are
here
good
it is-
old days,
here it is
right?
at $5 or $6. So that's the goal. And again, I think the more sunlight that we can get in to a building, the better it is. But again, it was all designed with safety in mind. Jeremy, if you want to add to that, you can surely can.
yeah, it's just that whole security thing again, and how much
Yeah.
do I say? We
Yeah.
are particular about where we are using the top of the line, impact resistant, rated glazing. We are particular. I don't want you to leave this meeting thinking that we are doing it everywhere. Okay, so
Okay,
it
no,
is, okay,
Yeah, no,
particular
I'm-
areas.
And it's a
there-
line that the line that we always have is, we're not designing a prison.
Right.
So the crazy thing that just happened in Texas,
Mhm.
can we stop that?
Right.
Not with the
No,
building, no.
You just can't, not in the entire building, not without, having armed guards around the whole building. And that, again,
There
I
is
am
level of
sick
security.
over this.
Yeah,
But-
there is a level of security at all of the glazing around the perimeter of the building. Now, I will tell you that was not, necessarily skimped on. We don't see that at all of our schools that we design these days. It's really a district and a cost thing. Of course, it comes down to that. So, but there is a level of security provided at all of the exterior doors, all of the outside perimeter windows. It's just the ones that are beefed up the most. There are certain ones that are beefed up more than others.
Right, great. And then just one, maybe it's more of an observation, as when you were talking about what was kind of value added out in terms of like the landscaping and whatever, and I'm assuming, that can be added at future time. That planting a tree, the kids could plant a tree or plant a garden or something at some point. And also in terms of the furniture, being on the Environmental Quality Commission, recycling and reuse is the big thing now. And if something is still usable for the foreseeable future, I applaud you actually for thinking of still maintaining it and maybe, sanding it or refurbishing it or whatever, but rather than just throwing out, which I know has been done in the past, even I think with this building, and buying new just because there's a new shell outside of it. So thank you for that.
The board has been really instrumental in working with us to make sure that this project moves forward, and they realize what they had to give up. And both Lou Giacomowitz and Dr. Brummett have been phenomenal through this whole thing. If it wasn't, for them saying yes, we wouldn't be here, because they have to agree, and they did agree to every single cut, if that's the word you want to use, value management, value engineering, whatever. But things had to come out, but we tried to only take things out that could be added back in at a later date. And again, the good thing is we didn't shrink the building, because we can't shrink the building, right? So we have the same footprint.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Braverman.
Hi. Steve, on the heating and air conditioning, is it all, the whole building is temperature control or individual units, or how's it working?
The whole building is air conditioned and obviously heated. The classrooms have individual units in each classroom. And then there's rooftop units on the top for hallways and the larger rooms.
Good. It looks very, very sleek and beautiful.
All right, thank you. Counselor Mankey?
Just quick, Stephen, I don't want to belabor this, but it's soft costs, you have 3,297,000.
Yes.
Soft costs are just for the public's, it's the public calling
I
now.
put it on silent, but there we go. Sorry.
I
about
always
that.
get to take it off silent, then nobody calls me for 2 weeks. Soft costs, those furniture and stuff that goes in there?
No, it's the architectural fee and some of the
Okay.
other things like that, you know, some testing and.
And I know our goal is to move to solar. So when this is done, we can then move to put solar onto this building.
Help me, I know that early on, and I don't think that's changed, we are providing the conduits, correct, for adding solar to it, to the rooftop?
We
You have the-
we are not providing the conduit at this time. We did do a study to see if the roof deck could support solar in the future, and it could.
Okay.
But there are not provisions to get it solar ready.
We should be able to do that though.
I think so. I mean, our goal is to go to solar with all our buildings. That would help save certainly the way the cost of fuel is going.
See him and I can get back to you on that. To
Okay,
see
thank you.
if there's an issue.
You can talk to Dr. Brumman and Keith too, because I know they have a vendor that they've used to do some other buildings, so
Right. We
if
just,
there is a possibility there, they would be able to work on that with you.
as long as the roof can support it, I guess that's the big thing.
Right. Councilor Donahue?
Yeah, I'm just looking at this and I'm trying to place where this wing is. This is towards I'm trying to,
So that wing is if you're coming in from Reservoir Road and you make the left into the school.
okay, so the gym's on one end of it.
Yeah, that,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. So if you see now on the screen,
Okay.
that's the one we're looking at.
All right, 'cause
Yeah, so there's the main entrance down here.
So I guess
Let's just for
technically it's
color
the
to-
north wing,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, okay. I was
So-
just trying to place it and it looks like each door had a classroom on it, but that's all being consolidated to one entrance.
Those, each one of
Oh,
those
sorry.
classrooms did have doors going out to
That's all
them.
gonna be
It's something that they,
consolidated into
actually,
one.
almost all of our elementary schools, in the sixties
Oh,
had.
just,
had
it
doors
makes
going
perfect
out.
sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, especially if they entered out to a class, to a playground,
Yes.
you know, it was totally different. I mean, actually, I walked home from kindergarten, through sixth grade every day to have lunch, you know, you just walked home and you walked back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not happening
A
today.
little different now, yeah.
No smoking breaks at the elementary school.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had a question on is it looks like they reduced the technology budget by almost 300,000. What did they take out of that? Or is that just they moved costs into the CIP? Okay,
I can speak to that a little bit, if you don't
Okay.
mind, Steve. The original technology budget was being held for quite a while. That original budget was a placeholder a long time ago, before you even applied for a school construction grant. There was a budget put together and line items for a variety of things. So there was a line item for technology. And at that point, there wasn't a design, we hadn't been involved at that point. You didn't have an architect, you didn't have engineers on the project. That budget was put together using a variety of, using historical data, I'm sure. But anyway, now that we know more about it, technology changes, as you all know, it changes quickly. The district tries different things. They see a way that they want to go with technology. Now that we're here, at least a couple of years later, it was determined that that budget number that was being carried was not what was needed. It was way beyond what was needed. We wouldn't
makes
have
sense.
that kind of budget. So I think it's just not knowing at the time when that was a placeholder. No one really knew where things were going to end up and what was really going to be needed technology wise. What were they going to want to do in each classroom? So we were very fortunate in that regard that it wasn't so much taking any technology out of the project. It's just, it was maybe an overinflated number when it was considered quite a while back.
That's good to know, because an average citizen looking at this saying, oh, man, they chopped 300,000 out of the budget. What are we not getting? But the budget was way overstated, and we're getting the technology we need just at the right price.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council questions? Yes.
I may not have a question, but I know that Councilor Camillo had concerns last time, and on my watch, it comes up when people are trying to get a hold of me, it just has their name on it and something. And I think he's online. I don't know if he has a question to ask. He's just not able to raise his hand or whatever. So I just out of fairness, see if he does or not.
If he's talking on this phone, he can't raise his hand.
I've never been able to figure out, sometimes when you're signing into the towns, you can raise your hand, and then sometimes you can't. It's just, I don't know.
With your phone, raising your hand is not like that.
But that's what I tell everybody. I go, if you have your hand raised or trying to raise your hand and I don't recognize you, I go, just start waving. I would.
And he did text me, you're right. I don't know if he got the list earlier for the cuts, so I can forward, I mean, he was on it, but I don't know that he has access to his town email.
Yeah, I apologize. I probably, oh, did you?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I got it on my personal one too. Always did. Thank you, sir.
Just out of fairness. His name came up on the watch.
He's had that list because he's a committee member.
Right.
He got it Monday.
Could you touch a little bit? I know before you even went out to bid, you had to cut some things too. Was there anything big cut before it went out to bid?
There wasn't anything really cut to bid. What we did is we added some ad alternates. So in case bids came in higher than we anticipated, and one of them was the playground. That was one of the first things, the whole courtyard. That was one on. The canopies were on, things like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Deputy Mayor Pedrosa?
I guess this is just kind of a comment after, reviewing the material and listening to the guests and Steve. I'm confident now in what I've seen and what I've heard, and the Anna Reynolds Building Committee had a lot of experience on it, which is actually in support of the Permanent Project Building Committee, because many of you went through with the town hall and whatever, so you knew what could be value engineered out. You knew what was critical to keep in. You knew where you could perhaps maybe downgrade a bit or two, and knew where you couldn't. So I do have confidence in the fact that these people on the committee knew what they were doing, and I'm also appreciative that they recognize that. I wish the budget could be as big as it is, but the fact that the referendum was for 35 million, you didn't cut things that were absolutely necessary, but you were cognizant of the fact that there was a figure out there, and I'm satisfied with what was brought in front of me, so I would be supporting this.
Thank you. Councilor Donahue?
Just high level questions. Will there be a group of renderings for the whole building that will be available? We could post on the website.
What will you have for us for as far as renderings go that we website? Just what we saw today, or will you have other?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm sorry. I certainly will pass along the renderings that we've shared so far. We don't have other renderings ready to go right now, so it would take us some effort to get additional renderings to you.
You don't need I don't think we need them right away.
I'm just saying, I think, just to calm the rumors down, this is what it looks like today. This is what it's gonna look like tomorrow. You're
That's
getting
fair.
everything you were promised, right? Because I could show somebody this list and they wouldn't know what it was, right? Now this picture is, they can see the doors coming out and just secured entrance. So that kind of stuff, just to get the public already voted for it, just to get them more on board to stop the rumor mill.
I'll share a very quick story with you that my wife hit me with the other night. She goes, that room you're in, she goes, that doesn't look like the council room you used to be in. I go, what? I go, what? She goes, did they change it? I go, did they change it? I go, my council room was the parking lot.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Down, so yeah.
I would assume we forget too, like this has always been here, we never again.
Yeah, so, yeah, right, understanding what we're, that was the question.
That, and the other thing I didn't mention that I need to, if it wasn't for Keith Chapman and his ability to give me and my committee, our committee, the rein to do what we're doing, we wouldn't be here today. And, he was very instrumental in allowing me to keep moving forward with my committee. And that was nice. It really was. I think he trusted us. What he said to me was that it's my project, keep going with it until it's time to come back here. And now it's time. And I appreciate that very much from him.
That's good feedback. Thank you. Counselor, are you done? You're all set? Counselor
Do you want
Mankin?
me to read the motion?
Yes, please.
I'd be happy to read this. Resolved pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 10, Section 8-45, Project Building Committee of the Newington Code of Ordinance, and upon recommendation of the Anna Reynolds School Project Building Committee at their meeting of February 23rd, 2022.
May.
I'm sorry, February. Where did I get February from? Dang, I gotta get new glasses. Their meeting of May 23rd, 2022. The Newington Town Council hereby accepts the plans, specifications, and final project budget for renovation of the Anna Reynolds Elementary School and authorizes Keith Chapman, Town Manager, to execute the appropriate contracts to accomplish the construction.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Nagel. Is there any further discussion?
I would just say thank you to everyone. That's from Mitch Page. Thank you all. Very appreciative of all your efforts.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I would say thank you, Mr. Woods. I know you're thanking everyone else, but the bottom line is you
You're the
did.
one- yeah, you're-
You and your committee did a lot of hard work over many, many months. So
It's over 2 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It takes
Hard to
a lot.
believe it's been
People
a
don't
month.
realize how long it takes
Yeah.
to get a project like this off the ground. And we're still 2 years from completion.
someone said to me today, it's still going. When is it gonna? And I said, this is really
We just
typical.
can't go like that.
This is how it goes. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
No, it's like the home improvement shows on TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, they do it in one episode and everything's done.
If someone asked me 2 years ago that I would be in here last minute, asking you to suspend your rules to move this forward, I said, there's no way. We have more than enough time.
Yeah.
And yet here
we are.
Well, I appreciate that you didn't really ask us to suspend our rules the other night. So thank you for that. And we were able to work together to do the special meeting and get it accomplished. At least this way, the public had an opportunity. Yet there's not anybody on right now. So I guess people are pretty pleased. Okay. People are pretty pleased with what you're doing, or they just are trusting in the process. So so that's wonderful. Jennifer, you had your hand up, and then Mr. Chapman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the resolution and wondered if May 26th should be the date. I didn't want you to have to go revise it again later. Is that
No, because
correct?
it's the building committee.
Oh, I'm sorry. At the building committee, which was on Monday. Okay, I'm sorry.
We had to revise it at the February date stage.
But we appreciate that because we do make mistakes up here. So thank you. Mr. Chapman?
Yes, I just wanted to extend my thanks to Steve Woods and the entire building committee. I had met with Steve prior to this project commencing, and we had a good understanding of what was expected from everyone involved, and it really worked out well, and I'm very pleased to see that we're at this point now. And I would agree with Steve that this is a multi-year project that hopefully will be completed within the time frame that we've set out. And I'm certainly going to be here to help the committee get accomplished what is now remaining, which is to renovate as new. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. All right, I don't see any other hands up, so we have a motion and we have a second. Because we're very split this evening, I think I'd like to do a roll call vote.
I think that's
And it's
appropriate.
this is an important issue. I think it makes sense. We could please.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo, Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Counselor Page,
Yes.
Counselor Red is absent. Mayor Del Buono,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo.
May I just add something?
He is, Counselor Camillo is online. I don't know, he may be having some audio issues. It appears that something's going on with his computer. So right now, the motion passes 7-0 with, I don't know how to count Mike, but Counselor Rad is absent. I don't know if we have to count him absent if he didn't answer, but the minutes can reflect a 7-0 vote.
And Mayor, can I just please add, I'm sorry to interrupt, that Councilor Rada did communicate to me, I don't know if she spoke to you, that she is in favor of this project. I know her vote is not official, but I just wanted to put that on the record.
Okay. All right, so we are all set. Congratulations. We're good to go. Mr. Woods,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank
All
you.
right,
I look forward
You
to
did the hard
walking you
work.
through the building as we do progress reports.
The renderings might be good to build.
Anytime through the construction, if you need an update, just reach out to me. I've been giving them to the board on a regular basis,
Great.
Good.
so I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah,
Okay?
we may have you come in here and there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the special meeting. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
We do
you.
have to offer public participation. I don't see anyone in the attendees window. But public participation is available. Anyone can call in or raise their hand in the Zoom function. We'll just give it 1 minute in case. All right, I don't see anyone. Any remarks by counselors? I think we already remarked. All right, no hands up. I will entertain a motion to
I
adjourn.
move we adjourn.
So moved. Seconded by Counselor Nagel. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We stand adjourned at 6:46. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I need a second for adjournment.
Great.
That and,
Ike's up.
What if somebody saw?